Want to do the scene yourself? Another, we're up. Should we wait? We should probably wait.
What time is it?
It's 10.
It's 10,
10 We start at 8. And we have people who are Zooming with it's live stream?
Yeah, we're hoping so. We're having trouble with the lights.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, I do need to put just one chair up here. Okay, so guys, Joanna's not coming. Marissa is, Joanna had an emergency at the last minute. Marissa is rehearsing, and we have Linda, who just had hip surgery, will be on the live stream. So the board will be small.
We're sitting here?
I think that's what we usually do, right? What we usually do? No? Are you gonna put a mic here, Mark?
Yeah, we're gonna go with the portable mics.
Just asking.
Prompter?
Just check out the front.
Okay, so you're definitely on that list then. I'm looking for it, I better resend it to you right now.
Where's the switch to
Ten before that.
cell phone?
Behind it, right in the middle, behind.
Behind?
Yes. You'll feel it. It's like right in the middle.
This is all we need. I'm pretty sure this is all we need because we got a few absentees. Linda, with that paltry excuse about having that hip
I
surgery.
just reset it.
Me, right? That was me.
Knee surgery, whatever you do, remember what you did. Yeah. Sometimes I just have people having knee, hip, whatever, so it's like, I don't know.
You coming over for mine? Can I get your chair?
So who all is it?
I'll get it.
Do we have that?
I'll get it.
But he's a care boy.
All right, that's the pay for it. Pay for it.
Yeah, I put my tea, one more,
That's the week's.
and I left my tea.
Right there. Don't touch the coffee cup, that's the problem.
Yeah. So far it's streaming.
This is the guy's expression when I asked him in the store where the twist was.
Yeah. Wireless.
Oh, we're happy, yeah. You're in the new board?
No, these are mine.
Oh, those are your personal.
So far it's streaming.
The board is disconnected from the monitor, and I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, blue money is, yeah.
Someone did a thing and said they had to go with it. Put it in their cell.
You can just hold it. You could clip it on if you're going to talk a lot, but you can pass it to people. There's two. So, yeah. Yeah, so you can.
Can I leave it in the, okay. I feel so important. Let me go find my stuff.
Carol, I'm going to send out to you for your cast list. I forgot to do that.
I'm
I'll do
looking
it.
for my bag
But I
of
got
stuff
your
as to
info.
where I
I'll
left
put
my
it
papers.
Do you want me to send you my cast list?
in. If you have the contact
I
sheet,
had a
that'd be great.
bag.
The cast, the contact
I'm
group.
losing my mind. Oh, here, okay. Here's the,
I want all the.
There we go.
As long
All
as I
right.
have email. I don't care about the rest, but as long as I have
I
email.
think they're gonna have to bury me with this.
Okay.
Become part of my body.
This cheese is absolutely phenomenal. This is
It's
wonderful.
Irish cheddar.
There you go.
What else do you get for St.
Not
Patrick's
just
Day?
cheddar.
Green tablecloth, green thing, huh? Irish butter, Irish soda
You're
bread.
Vice President. We're missing the.
Welcome, everyone who's on the stream. Please don't leave. We will be starting momentarily. Enjoy.
Momentarily before soon or after soon in the relationship? So we're not too bad. We only got 7 so far. I'm sure we'll get a few more in the next couple of days, so.
I think it would be very helpful for you to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're done. And we're done. because, you know, it's just, who knows what's going on, and it's nice to have.
We can hear everything.
Yeah, just, you know, I think Peter will be here. I told Nikki she has to be here the whole time. Yeah, and we gotta get, you know, gotta get all the sound stuff done. Peter was putting some stuff together for me. But it's, you know, now it's like, and that's why I wrote what I wrote to the cast today, which you saw. You guys are solid. Now it's just this other detail stuff. We'll get it, you know, we'll pull that together. It'll be a little crazy, because it already is. It'll be a little crazy, but we'll get it done. Oh, that's nice. Why is that? Well, we weren't supposed to turn it on yet. Well, it would have been nice if you would have told me that when you put the microphone on me. Had no idea. Thanks. I don't think so. I don't think I did.
No, this was my Christmas present, because I got these wireless mics.
Okay. Well, you know what? We don't have to wait till, is there a new rule that says we have to wait till 8 o'clock? Can we make that decision? Are we a quorum? Okay, all right, good. We're not voting. Okay, here, guys. Miss Jody, ma'am, you coming to sit with us? Sure. Sure. Do that vice president thing. Right, there you go.
It's a microphone.
Yes, Columbus. Yes, Columbus.
We're still on, we're going.
Okay, jump right in. Okay. All right, welcome, good evening. Nice to see you guys, and whoever's out there in TV land, can you let us know, Mark, who's there?
We got Laura Ward so far. There's like 2 people so far, but it's early.
Well, won't they be surprised when they get on and go, oh, they started without me. Okay, all right, so welcome, good to see you. Did everybody have St. Patrick's Day things in the back? Irish butter, I bought Irish soda bread, all kinds of disgusting things we're not supposed to eat, but they were green, and I said, you know, and Irish cheddar. And if you don't eat it, I have to take it home, so please go back and have some more, okay? All right, so this is the March meeting, which normally takes place on the 3rd Thursday. And why did we move it up? Well, because next Friday night, a week from tomorrow, is opening night for the Normal Heart, and we thought not having a meeting the day before opening night was probably a good thing to do. And besides, we also thought it'd be a good idea to showcase a bit of the show. So if Howell gets here later, we'll actually have a scene from the Normal Heart. Okay, so we did not have a meeting in February. We canceled that because of the impending snowstorm. Just kidding, there was no. We canceled it. Anyway, but we do have minutes from the January meeting. Were those sent out to everybody, Mike?
I have to check, and I'm sure they were. Yeah.
Do you remember getting minutes from the January meeting?
No.
Well, it was a great one, and the minutes were 1,000%. We're good. All right. I guess they think we're good. Think we're good? Okay. And who remembers January anyway? Right. Okay. All right. So, Robert, can we have a treasurer's report, please?
Okay, treasurer's report. We have, what do we have? 56.
Can we give Robert the other portable mic?
Oh,
Please,
Joanne.
I need my portable
when it's
light.
even fuzzy. Look. How
They
cute.
all look fuzzy. 56,315 we have in our bank account, which is about the same we had last year at this time, except last year at this time we had purchased all of our rights for the coming year. We haven't done that as of yet, so we're going to take a little hit. Our PSE&G bill for March of this year was $1,202. That's for the winter. I can imagine the $1,600 coming in for the summer. We got the balance of our grant that we applied for last year of $1,275 is the final payment they wrote on it, final payment for the Bergen County grant that Claudia, Mark, Diane, people, myself, everybody, a lot of people worked on it, so congratulations, we got the balance of the money.
And the net was what, about $5,300?
I
Is that what
think
we got?
somewhere in that ballpark was the total, yes. I forget the other part, but it's like 3,800 or something.
Yeah, it was about that, yeah.
The final numbers for 2 by 2 by Broadway, which I hope everyone got to see. It was a really good show. It was a really fun, good, upbeat, positive show. So the final ticket sales numbers were $5,091. Expenses were $3,754. We ended up with a profit, which is good, of $1,337.
All right, good.
For
One weekend.
for the 2 by 2 by Broadway for that weekend. That's all I got.
Okay, I don't need this one. I don't know why.
Okay, I don't need it.
Oh, well, you can't have it, so there. Okay, all right. So, stuff about the building. Boy, there's a lot of stuff about the building. Old as it is, it needs some TLC in so many places. We are waiting for Steve Molt to take the document he created that was a lot of information about how we might repair and replace the doors. He needs to turn that into something that we can then send out to several vendors to ask them to give us estimates on repair, replacement of doors. So I am waiting for Steve to do that. In all fairness, he was in 2 by 2 by Broadway, so giving him just a little more time. But it's no secret that the doors need to be either repaired or replaced. Summer, we're targeting summer for that, okay? Diane, you and I need to set up a day or two when we know we can be here to meet with the pest control guys so that we can shoo the squirrels out, or they can shoo the squirrels out.
I haven't seen any creatures, which thank goodness, but you know.
We should
I think a
probably
lot of
figure out
guys went
what the
up-
problem is and get it fixed, yeah, absolutely, because this is not a squirrel hotel. Okay, other things that we have talked about on the board is the need to create a list of both interior and exterior, what's all the stuff that we notice that needs attention. If you're on the outside of the building, you can certainly see that there are areas where paint is peeling. There's a lot of things. It's an old building. Most of it's an old building, and it needs TLC. Hello. You don't have to do the scene alone. He's here. Okay. Hi, Hal. Okay. So, if you notice something inside or outside the building, don't hesitate to send it to me as an email and just say, I saw this, because we want to create that big list, and then start targeting, okay, what's the thing we need to do first, second, et cetera, and the big problem then is how to afford it. You want to talk about it now? Okay. Hi, ladies. Hi. We started without you. I'm terribly sorry. We started without you. Do you want to? You know what? Do you want to mention it now or later? Okay, go ahead.
One thing we were thinking about, because this is such an old building and we love this building and we need to keep the upkeep going so that we can stay here, is people mentioned GoFundMes or outside every show, we're thinking of doing a QR code with a bucket. And people will be like, you know, you love this place, you want to keep coming, donate to the building fund. And whatever they want, you have a QR code and they can do it themselves, or they can put $2, $5, $100, whatever you can afford
I like
into
the
that.
bigger numbers.
So do
Yeah.
I. But this way, you know, people can maybe start doing that, and that can help us, because these doors are going to be extremely expensive, and we've got to figure out how to do it. And if we want this building to stay safe, we need new doors. So, and possibly a new roof eventually, who knows? So the QR code, I think, is going to help significantly with getting funds, and it's a way of maybe everyone contributing some way or another. So bringing it all together. And if anyone has any ideas, fundraisers, or anything that can help us to get more funds. But so we were just thinking outside, you know, so when people see it, it'll always be there in the lobby, and people can donate when they want.
See, it's on the agenda. We're going to talk about that stuff more.
That's great. But some of our audience members are much older and they may not deal with, QR codes, so.
Well, that's why we're saying not only have a QR code, but a bucket also. Yes, yes, have both, a box with the QR code, make it easy for everybody. Because absolutely, there are some people who
Oh, yeah.
cannot.
And it is on the agenda because we want to have a general conversation with all y'all
Yes.
about funding.
Do we have a Facebook page? We do.
Yes, we do.
Well, you can do a GoFundMe on Facebook page, and that probably will help it.
Yeah, we
And
could-
that will also get you out there more so than you are now.
Okay.
So be thinking of ideas because it's on the agenda. We're going to talk further
Yeah,
about
so we
this
can talk
tonight,
about, yeah,
okay?
doing a
All right.
GoFundMe on Facebook for that. Thank you.
All right, there will be a meeting and workshop in April, which will be our usual third week of the month, the third Thursday. And I had hoped that we would have the folks here to talk about it. And Joanne's not here. You were waving at me, Diane. Do you know about it? You're not involved. Okay. Well, you were waving. I thought that meant
About the
something.
workshop?
Yeah, yeah,
I was
okay.
just glad we were having April because we
Right.
need to announce a slate.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. Member Alice Garcia, and some of you know Todd Murphy, who was in Death Trap. They are working together on a play that they would like to present. It's a full play, so they're going to present just a section of it. You'll hear more about that. It'll be in the prompter. It'll be in the blasts that Robert does such a good job with. So more information to come on that. So by all means, I would love to tell you I know what the third Thursday is in April. What is the third Thursday in April? I think, okay, whatever. Something like that. Okay, so mark your calendar. We will return to the normal schedule. And yes, as was just mentioned, that is the month where the nominating committee will present their suggested slate of people to replace some of the people on the board who will be leaving the board, as is our annual thing to have happen. All right, so you will hear that announcement then at the April meeting, and then at the May meeting is when we vote, and it is during the May meeting when members can nominate someone also to put on the slate, and that's when we vote. All right? Pardon me.
How many people are coming off the board? Is it 4 coming off this year?
3.
Because there was, Linda stayed on last year.
That's right, yeah.
Claudia is going to stay another year.
They asked, the board asked me if I would stay one more year. Because I came in the middle of someone else's year that I was replacing. But they asked me the other day if I would be willing to stay another year. And I foolishly said yes. So here I am. You're stuck with me. All right. So April workshop coming. Normal Heart promo, we're going to do a workshop now that we have our actors here to give you a scene from that. We can certainly talk a little bit more about it. I would love for you to have the opportunity to ask the actors about their roles in the play, about the play itself, and how they feel about it and why it matters and why they think you should come see it. All right, you may have heard that Old Library Theater, one of our fellow community theaters in the area, has an issue with the Fair Lawn Recreation Center where they are basically saying you have to pay going rate, and it's significant for them. So they are in the process of trying to figure out what to do. And I had an email conversation with someone I know there and said, hey, we can't offer you space, unfortunately, and we can't even offer you storage, but how about the idea of getting the two groups together for what we've done now each year is the summer barbecue and movie night. And they thought that was a great idea. So I think that, and so Mark, start thinking about a movie.
Sure.
Okay, you're on. Okay.
Last time in Paris.
Keep thinking.
We'll take other nominations from the floor. Okay. All righty. So let's talk now about your funding ideas. Because obviously, no community theater can make it anymore on just membership dues and tickets. It's just not doable. Things always go up, and the pandemic made a big change in the prices of things, rights, etc. We want to keep this theater going, we want to do good stuff. We need to raise money. What ideas do you have about ways to do a better job getting donations? Yes, we have a team of people that are going to be working on grants, but as we know in the current political climate, a lot of grant money is just going to go away. It's not going to be available. So while we will still pursue that, it becomes less and less likely that we will be able to get much in the way of grant funding. even though we are a venerable community theater in business since 1919, and even though we're in an historic building. So we have two things to pursue, but it may be that a lot of that funding has just dried up. So brainstorm time. What Mike is going to write it all down. What are your thoughts about how?
The grant that we got from those people when we were up there, I don't know if that's a state thing, a county thing?
That was Bergen County.
There's a Bergen County, yeah.
Because that woman said that they have a lot of money and that we just need to ask for it. And they were willing to give more money for operating costs.
Who woman is this that you spoke? Oh, that was at the event you went to.
Look up her name.
The event that you guys went to.
Did she sign the check?
Short one, I think. Short one, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Cynthia
But
Foster?
She said they have a lot of money and we just need to ask for it, so.
All right, let's.
Well, but you don't, I mean, there is an approval, you have to apply, there's a whole approval process,
I'm
yeah.
sure, but you know, if we already did the work for the diary, maybe. it could-
Right, well, the committee, we have 3 people now. Stacy is on the committee, Terry Koust is on the committee, and Rachel Alt is on the committee to work on what do we have to do to prepare all of the necessary paperwork. Because one thing I can tell you from having worked now on 2 grants over the last few years is the amount of stuff that you have to create and research and provide is unbelievable.
But that's
It's
what I
just
mean,
crazy.
isn't it already done?
Well-
Do we have copies of what we've already done?
Yeah, but we have now found out that there's other stuff that you have to apply for. Oh, it's a deal.
We have to do it,
They'll have-
Claudia, or else what are we doing?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's hard, but, Stacy's smart.
Smart. I mean, if we could speak with this woman, if she says there is money, maybe
Yeah.
if we had a talk with her and said, all right, there's money.
How do we get it?
How do we get it? What do we need to do? What do you think is best for us, knowing our situation in our building? And this way we could narrow down what we actually have to do.
I've been really pushing grants for 2 years now in the board and really pushing them, and though I'm not on the grant committee, but I've been pushing them a lot, and we really need to make the effort. I just don't see that.
Did you not hear that I said we have a committee that's working
Well,
on?
we do have a committee, but you also in the same voice said, but there's no money out there. So
No,
what-
that's not what I said, Robert. What I said is we have to recognize that,
Well, we don't know that. We don't recognize what really is possible. We're sort of shooting ourselves in the foot before we even start. We need the grant money. We need grant money if we're gonna keep going.
all right,
That's my
per-
position. I'm pretty
okay.
strong on
But
it.
the purpose of this conversation for tonight was to figure out some other ideas, brainstorm other thoughts. What do you got, Michael?
Well, do you get money from the Bergen County block grants? Or is that the grant that you talked about?
Not Stacy Block.
Bergen County,
Tell us about block grants.
well, Bergen County has grants that it's funded from the state, and then Bergen County gives out grants. It's tedious. You know, I used to work on these grants, and I would say the amount of times I put in the grant, if I was selling shoes, I'd make twice as much money. You know, but it's out there. And so it's just about applying. I would also Puffin, which is in the area. Yeah.
The Puffin Cultural Forum, right? Isn't that the name of it?
Puffin Foundation.
Puffin Foundation?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have grants. You'd have to, I would say they're not gonna give you a grant for your overall season. You have to target a particular show. And it has to be in their wheelhouse.
Right.
You know?
Well, that is actually how we got the $5,300, is because last season we did this original production of The Diary, which was a musical telling of the Anne Frank story. And it was because we were doing this unique thing that we were able to qualify for the grant that we did get.
Right.
Because some of them are project grants like that. It can't be part of your regular season. It has to be some, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are two good places if
All
you're
right.
not getting money.
The Puffin Foundation, and do you know specifically, Michael, you said Bergen County, but do you know specifically within Bergen County who?
What's Cynthia, is she still doing that?
Okay, but and that's, yeah, through Greg Lucenti, that's where we got that grant. Yeah, I worked with Greg.
But she might have some for like an old building fund and so like
And
that,
that's
so.
she's the one that said, apply for a grant for the building.
An operating grant.
That's an operating grant that we,
They'll give you GOS, they'll give you.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
We
so,
have the committee now, and if they need more help, we'll
You
just.
get money from Leone at all for the
no, no.
They're giving us the building for free, so they figured that they did
Yeah.
what they could.
Do you get a lot of support from Leone residents? So
No.
So I would think you need something, more presence here
Okay,
in the town.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a building fund, put it on the outside, you know, one of those
Mm-hmm.
thermometers.
yeah, that was,
About that,
yeah.
yes, we
Yeah.
talked about that, putting it there.
Become visible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let the community know what you're doing.
Save our building,
Yeah.
then put a big
Save
amount.
their building.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's it. Give them ownership of it. So,
And
Save
maybe
this
if-
treasure,
Maybe
yeah.
if Leonia at their town council meeting, we
Mm-hmm.
go and we present to them and let them
Yeah.
know what we're doing.
You getting all this down, Mike? You good? Yeah, okay.
You know, it's a, yeah, it's a historic building that's in your town that brings people around, you know? What can we do in your town to help us, or, you know,
yeah.
bring it together?
Okay, other stuff, other ideas.
Anyone in the
Nothing-
audience, please speak louder, or can someone hand them?
Yes.
Yeah,
the wireless,
nothing is too crazy.
Or go up to the front of the
Right.
stage.
We've spoken about 50/50s for years and years, and
That-
Yes,
where we-
okay,
where we
you want to,
land.
Yeah, so Ellen right now Ellen is speaking to the 50/50 people, and we're trying to get the
The state.
information to get it actually, there's just some forms and stuff that we needed to get, and Ellen is on that now. So that is in the works.
we had actually started that process a few years ago,
Yes.
and the board at that time felt the game was not worth the candle, and we stopped the process. However, when Ellen came to speak to the board recently about some ideas and proposed that, we said to her, great, you know, go look into it, get back to us and see. Because certainly, how many of you are Bergen County Players members? Yeah, well, I'm one of the rafflers over there, okay? I'm on the raffle team. So it is an amazing amount of money that's what they call us. They call us the rafflers. I didn't come up with the name. But there's a fair amount of money to be had. Now, granted, we have half of the seats that Bergen County Players does. Several have said, I'll be willing to be at, you know, have a team of people and somebody's at every show, and I'm you know, bold enough to chat people up and sell tickets. So we just need a handful of people like that to do that. We just have to see what Ellen comes back with and what the board decides. What else you got? Brainstorming. Other ideas?
So this is obviously more long-term. It doesn't sort of immediately provide it unless somebody dies. But efforts for like a planned giving campaign to
That's a
get
wonderful
people
idea.
to add Players Guild into their estate planning, into their wills, into those sorts of things.
The most money that we get from donations is after, and that's when we get a nice little chunk of change on behalf of that person.
The Richard Stankin Fund.
No, it's generally when someone passes,
Right.
we get
People donate in their name.
it
to honor
donated in their
them.
name.
Yeah.
Right, but you can do a
That's a good idea.
campaign specifically designed to guide people through the process of making sure that they are
Absolutely.
including.
But that's the best money we get is when
Yeah.
people go.
No, please don't worry, we have no.
Who here wants to make
Yeah,
this
no,
sacrifice?
we're not, this is not, Shirley Jackson did not write this evening's meeting. Other ideas? What do you think?
Do you remember years ago? Okay, I'm not saying that I want to be in charge of this, but
No, it's okay, no,
years ago, we had a garage sale.
I remember
I
that.
don't know if it's that tacky too, but I mean, it's so much work. You have to pay the town for a permit, and.
Okay, the purpose of, Diane, the purpose of brainstorming is to get ideas out.
I'm sorry.
And
Let people finish their sentence.
Go ahead.
But when you brainstorm, it's just nothing, Nothing gets shot down, we just get ideas. Stacy, pray continue.
I'm just saying that, so for those of you who don't know, and weren't here many years ago, like Diane was. So we had people, the members bring in things that they wanted to get rid of. And you know, what's that expression, somebody's junk is somebody else's.
Someone's trash is another man's treasure, yeah.
And even the members were coming and they were buying things and.
My favorite pair of earrings cost me $2, and every time I wear them, I've had them for, I don't know how, people always say, I love those earrings, where did you get them? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, true. My big star, the big gold stars you've seen me wear, $2 from that garage sale that you're talking about. Yep, absolutely.
So I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know what the problems were about it, so.
It's another idea on the list.
Oh,
Another idea on the list.
You know how much was made.
Yes.
Because I've had garage sales through the years, you know, and like the first one I had was great, but then it goes down, 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 you know, and to have other people bring their stuff to sell, not a good idea. To sell some of the crap we have here that we need to get rid of.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
The idea of a garage sale is on the list. We'll examine it. What else?
And it's
What else do you
probably
think?
minutes to find out how much was made.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, goodness knows from that long ago. God love you on that one, yeah. Yeah, Vicki.
Yeah, I know the theater that I just worked at down in Florida, they've been doing Friday night comedy nights, and I know you guys have done that, but they're doing it now like almost, I think, twice a month.
Oh, wow.
On Friday nights, alternate Friday nights, which I think is great, or maybe having a psychic, or, you know, something kind of interesting, fun, type of thing like that to maybe offer besides the, you know, in addition to the season.
Yeah, all right. What else? What else do you think?
You know, we used to do, like Suzanne did like a one-woman show. It was, you know, one night, and, you know, no real expense, you know, and, you know, it was, it's just a one-night thing, and, you know, I think those little things like that add up.
The little things.
Well, a lot of work for Suzanne, but, you know,
Yeah.
Do we have any famous alumni?
Famous alumni. Do we have famous alumni? Any of them around anymore?
What's his name is our most famous at the moment.
Who is, what's his name?
He's from Hillside Park, who dropped dead.
Don't know. All right. Well, Alan Alda was when he was in Leonia many years ago. Do we have any famous alumni that are still living?
Well, because I was thinking that maybe if we did, or maybe we could find somebody that's willing to come in and, you know, do like a Q&A or something, like, or maybe do a little entertaining if that's what they can do, and that would be a great way to.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe in addition to that, maybe a resident of Leonia who is, has some presence. You know,
Yeah. Michael.
Do you sell any merch?
We have not, and that's something that has been mentioned. In fact, I had a meeting a couple of weeks ago with someone I know who's financially savvy and has worked in the past with a theater group in New York. And he gave me, I've got a list on my phone, a whole bunch of ideas. And one of them was the selling of merchandise, but the key is you don't buy it and stock it. You work with a company that they have it, and it's just an order fulfillment thing, and we don't have to touch it. We have stuff on display in the lobby, but we're not in the business of stocking inventory, shipping stuff out. So that's, yeah.
That's a revenue stream.
Yeah, could be, absolutely could be.
Lakewood Library do that. They raise money through selling tote bags and
Yeah.
aprons and all sorts
Yeah.
of stuff. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And they were quite successful with that.
What else? What else you got? Because obviously we're coming up with fun, crazy ideas, and there's no idea that's crazy, right? Lois, we have to give you the fuzzy
Oh,
thing.
here's, which thing do I speak into?
Right there, just like that.
All right, it's weird. I'll use, if you don't mind, Carol, I'll use desperate measures as a sort of an example. My idea was that at the beginning of a show, particularly for the gala, the lights go down and then the announcements come up. But before the announcements come up, I thought it would be fun for the members, like a cowboy and a cowgirl, from your show, dressed already, for their parts. And we have something like the William Tell Overture or something like that. They come galloping in and they have buckets, and for each play it would be different. We would tailor make some sort of 3-minute presentation to the music of the show, or something that, would involve money, and just have a poem or some little thing that they could say that would be funny about, please donate to the Players Guild, and they could pass around the buckets at that time, or I think at least it would draw attention to the buckets at intermission and at the end.
So on that, piggybacking on that, I was in a production of Fiddler on the Roof this summer, an outdoor theater somewhere in New Jersey, and during intermission, they came out and said, our orchestra is only paid for the first act. If you want the show to continue, we need to raise money for them, and then they would give it around with buckets.
And then they came out with long noses.
It's true in life, if you don't ask, you don't get. And if you don't ask enough, you don't get.
Right.
You can't, it's like if you're in sales, don't make one follow-up call to that prospect. You have to keep following up with people. So yeah, we got to ask for what we want and keep asking until we get it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Michael.
That's what I mean.
That'll bring in a lot of money.
Was that a nudie show?
Children's.
Well, we could have streakers,
No, we're not having streakers. That doesn't raise money.
Or like a children's hour where we read books to the kids or something, and we can dress up in characters or something,
Yeah. You were going to say something. You had an idea?
No, just a little piggyback on it.
Okay.
I used to work at the Players Theater in New York. Much of their funding came from doing children's shows specifically. The parents would come, and families would come, and purchase for the little kids, and extra effort because the little people were there. So that's an excellent idea, I thought.
Well, last year's Disney show was a tremendous success.
Yeah.
Was it?
Because it was geared
towards the children.
Last year's this year's wasn't quite as much, but 2 years ago, the one we did was a great success.
Was that part of your season?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about one-shot deals on a Sunday afternoon.
Something for kids to do.
Really just geared, and to little ones.
Yeah. And I've often said that every theater there's all kinds of stuff happening in December for children. But there's not stuff happening other months. I believe children need to be entertained the rest of the year. So pitching your show to December is kind of crazy when everybody else is doing stuff. It just seems to make sense. If you're going to do stuff for children, make it available at other times.
Well, I mean, if you did a series that, once a month, every third Sunday, and you get people into a cycle, that's the whole thing. You get people into a cycle of comedy.
We've had coffee house type thing, didn't we?
The Coffee House Cabaret we did a number of times, yeah. So that's another thing. Coffee House Cabaret.
I'm just curious, what kind of, what would you do on that every third Sunday?
There are a lot of children performers out there, and I'm sure within the group you can certainly put together something. You want to do a little more interactive than just sitting and reading a story.
Membership acting out the story.
Acting it out.
And
if you bring somebody in, so there's some kind of cost there. But if you do within the membership, there's no royalties or anything. You write your script for the three little pigs.
The two little pigs?
Three
Just counted from three?
No, he said three.
No, I thought you were making a joke.
No, he said three.
Oh, okay.
Well, you can tell the audience you need more money.
Watch your kids back.
Yeah, okay, again, we're just looking for ideas. We're just looking
An
for
idea
ideas.
that I've brought up a few times is to have an evening where we bring in somebody from the Korean community to do maybe a dance, Korean dance. There's Chinese community, there's Russian community all around here. We have a lot of communities that we don't ever really see as an audience particularly, and how do we engage them and give them an evening, you know, and just an evening of dance, an evening of whatever their cultural, whatever they do, whatever they want to bring in. We do that once every month, once every couple of months. There we go.
Yeah,
That was it.
okay. What else you got?
Yeah, we did something with the garage during our dog time.
I miss garage.
What?
I miss garage.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But we did a solo fest. February was kind of like a dead month for us. So I reached out to a lot of, look, there's a lot of artists who need a place to perform. You have a place to perform. So what we used to do is we'd go out and for 2 weeks in February, we got solo artists and we just split the door with them. And, you know, we sold, but they sold also. And, you know, that's a good way of bringing in more income.
The guest artist idea is interesting, you know?
What about an open mic and have people pay to perform?
Yep. Open mic, there's another one. Keep writing them down.
Yes?
I have a message from Dan and Bunny Giordano.
Yes.
Let's see, Dan was asked by someone who teaches children's theater if we would be interested in hosting them, and they would donate the proceeds to PGL.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes?
Good idea, Dan.
Yeah, you did. Good. All right. What do you think? Anything else? Because this is the interesting thing about talking like this. If somebody said something and you went, oh, wait, I have another idea, right? Things pop because somebody says something. Anything else that comes to mind? We're not going to be here till 10 o'clock doing this. I'm just asking one more time.
Along the same lines, this is sort of would fit into what other people have already
Yeah.
said. We know somebody who owns a music school for kids like high school age and younger. And they're always looking for places to perform. And every time they have to do a show of their own, they struggle to find a venue. So the kids would like to come in, I'm sure, almost any time to perform on their own. And if they do a school show, they need a place. So, I mean, it's just a source of talent, at least, for people who are eager to work for free. So that's something.
You mean like all of those, right? Well, and 1 second, Stacey, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that for a number of years, first with someone who is no longer here, but also with Vicki, we had Saturday group voice classes that resulted in a performance. And of course, we're all a bunch of hams and we love to do it. And we had an audience. People came to hear.
Happy to do again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, sign that woman up. Okay. Yeah, Howell? And Stacy, did you also have your hand raised?
I know Laura Ward put something in.
Oh, Laura has something? That was Laura's idea?
We did raise, didn't we raise prices to $2 in the back?
Yeah, we did.
Yes. I responded to her.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and then official tip jar at refreshments. She put that.
What way?
An official tip jar.
I'm sorry,
at-
I'm
Yes,
operating a lot of
that-
things here.
Well,
Yeah, that is also on the
We
list.
could also move the Venmo, all the QR code stuff that was there
Yep.
into the back during.
Yeah. Yeah, actually what we had talked about is actually for Normal Heart. We talked about having something out at the lobby desk and also in the back at the hospitality space with a sign and here's a bowl.
Was Laura talking about the cost for refreshments?
Yes.
To raise the price.
We do not, the refreshments replenish themselves, that doesn't ever go back into the kitty of the guild. Did you know that?
Right, yes, I do know
If you
that.
raise the
Yeah.
price, it would.
Why?
No, it's because the refreshments are just more expensive to buy.
Yeah.
I go to the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey in Madison and it's $3 for the bottle of water we charge $1 for.
So I understand that, but you know, if you're going to make it be something like that, if you want it to be a moneymaker, then you have to discuss that. That has to be something that changes. It changes, it's a big change.
Didn't we change it the last
We just
show we did?
increased it to $2.
Jody just changed the prices, but I'm not saying that that makes a difference, because really I have hardly any money in the kitty right now. So we're not really necessarily selling a lot of refreshments. And what has happened, what the deal is that, you know, whatever we sell, we keep a $40 float in there,
Yeah.
but we just buy from that.
Mhm.
And there's not.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
So,
Okay.
you know, you have to decide if you want it to be
All right.
a money.
Last shot, because we got other stuff to do. Yeah, Howell.
So maybe I zoned out and I missed if somebody said the same thing, but.
It's all right, we'll
maybe
pretend we never heard it before. It's okay.
Sure.
We don't want you to feel bad.
Yeah, easy. Like, well, it's kind of a two-part thing, like maybe have like sort of a showcase, talent show type of thing. In addition, at that same night, have maybe like a tricky trade where we can get donations of different things that people can bid on, or silent auction or something like that.
Yeah.
And have that like, you know, it's sort of like a fundraiser night where
Yep.
all that's, you know, they pay to get into, you know, to see the performances, and then we also have that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that was a lot of ideas. Thank you, everybody.
An improv night.
An improv night? Improv night? One more. Improv night. Okay. All right.
You should totally do that.
Thank you for participating in that. All right. Last couple of things here. Stacy, do you want to briefly announce your weekly regular improv sessions?
So if anyone's interested, we have our weekly Zoom improv, but this week it's Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
I think so.
Yeah, and it changes every week.
Oh, is it?
So if you want to get on the list, I'll send you.
Learn how to improv. Get better at it. Have fun.
It's
Yeah.
fun and connect with people.
See what happens.
It's only
Maybe
40
that's another.
minutes.
Maybe that's another
40 minutes
fundraiser thing.
What's that?
Maybe that's another fundraiser thing. Bring people here for an improv night.
Yeah.
Why not? Because you're all good at it. You've done workshops, so we know you're able to take strangers and do it. Yeah. Okay.
It's a
Sir.
great skill to have when you forget your line.
You're right. Which no actor ever does. Never happens, right? Yeah.
It'd be great if she actually could do it live here, to reach out to the community.
Yes,
Not
yeah.
just the people
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And advertise it
Yeah.
so we get more people.
Correct. All right, I'm going to put one more thing on the list because I had suggested this in the past. Some friends of mine that some of you know, Frank Avellino and Steve Hess, used to, for years, run a once-a-month, I forget now what night of the week it was, might have been a Saturday night, something they called Play with a Play. And what they did was they would solicit plays from, just like you do for a playwright showcase, and plays that they thought had some promise. And the author would come, and any of us who wanted to go would be there, and you had the chance to read any role at all, and the playwright would get a chance to listen and then get feedback from those of us who were there about what we saw in it, what we thought might need a little tweaking. It's a fun thing to do. Because I hear there's a lot of people out there who like to act, not just us. So yeah, that's another idea. Okay, I promised that was going to be the end. We got it before those guys fall asleep. Okay, not really. Keep them waiting. All right, is there any other business? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I'll keep it short, but really housekeeping, can I ask again? If people do coffee, they empty the coffee, including the grinds. If you put water in to heat it up, please empty it, because otherwise we get mildew. And really, they're pretty new, the utilities that we have right now, so I hate to have to throw them away again. Also, we have a nice Keurig back there, but that's not part of what I'm replenishing. If anybody wants to use the Keurig, please donate the cups or bring your own cups. And if you need to have water or paper towels or toilet paper, there's a utility room in the basement, and
Yes,
that's
there
where
is.
you get all that stuff. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, okay, all right. I think we've come to the end.
Yes.
Have we come to the end?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to ask my colleagues to remove the chairs, and I'm going to announce the workshop. All right, what's that? Well, in fact, actually, according to Robert's Rules of Order, when we're at the end of the agenda and no one has anything else, I'm allowed to just close the meeting.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
believe it or not.
Put the mics on the two actors.
Yes.
That sounds like a good idea. Okay.
Great.
All right. Once we come to the end of the agenda, and I call for anything else on the agenda.
Take us on for free. What's it
Does?
called?
Can I help you guys?
What's that?
What's it called? Pro bono?
Pro bono for what? What are you gonna do?
I told you, we're gonna raise money and fight.
You have to be more specific than that. You have to have a plan.
How about if I said that we're gonna be a cross between the League of Women Voters and the United States Marines? Is that a good enough plan?
Is that good? Okay. The only thing is.
Live, right?
Oh, never mind. No, it's okay.
I'm sorry. But they're ready for you.
Are they really? Well, we're not ready for them.
Oh.
I'm getting ready here.
Let me wire you.
We need a couple.
I'm sorry.
We need a couple. Tell them to talk amongst themselves. Come up with a few more
Yeah,
ideas
right.
to raise money or something. Well, we have a committee that decides that sort of thing. I'll have to put it to the. We have a committee that decides that sort of thing. I'll have to put it to the committee.
Why can't you just say yes?
Because we have a committee.
But you're the senior partner and I'm your brother. What the?
I fail to see what difference that makes in the matter. You're asking me to ask my partners to give up income that would ordinarily come into their pocket.
I thought all law firms had to do a certain amount of the same things. Civic cause, charity.
Yes, but it's not up to me to choose exactly what those worthy causes might be.
Well, that's a pity. What did you start the firm for?
It's one of our rules. It's a democratic firm.
I think I like elitism better. When will you know?
No one.
Say done.
You know, and if they change, I can like put them in like a couple of spaces, like the opening number and the closing number and everything. If they don't sing, they can just mouth the words. If anybody's interested, I also need someone to run lights the first weekend. I have somebody for second or third weekend. So, but we're just started. We just had our first rehearsal and we're on our way.
All right.
Thank you, Jenna.
I saw some of your auditions the other night. It was like, this looks like a hoot and a half.
It's a funny, silly show. When I saw it off Broadway, I didn't know what to expect, and I laughed through the entire show. It's a fun show. And it's written in iambic pentameter, which is really
Is it?
Okay, all right.
So, and I met the writer at someplace, and I told him I was doing the show, and so I'm going to contact him and see if he would like to come do a talk back.
Okay,
So
good.
that would be fun.
All right, before we have our workshop, Normal Heart goes up next Friday night. Yikes, how did we get here? Okay, we do need lighting operators. All right, I think we've got everything else covered, but we need lighting operators, and of course the usual people to house manage and usher. All right, so I know Robert has sent out the usual sign-up thing. Michael, my producer, will probably be calling everyone and, threatening them with bodily harm if they don't sign. No, just kidding. But we certainly, we all know as community theater people, it takes way more than just the actors on stage to put on the show, to make stuff happen. All right, so what we're going to see tonight is scene 3 from Act 1, and it is, how many of you know the story of the Normal Heart? How many of you have seen it? Have you seen it? Yeah, all right. So it is historical. It is absolutely based in fact. The author is telling a story that he lived, and all the names have been changed. These are real people that he worked with and knew. Larry Kramer also wanted, when this was put on, he felt it should be done extremely simply. There will be people who come to see it and go, why isn't there a set? Why is that so plain? Because that's what he felt should be for this show, that it should be done very simply, very little furniture. His color scheme also for the original show was black, white, and gray, and I decided to stay with that. This floor is going to be turned into a gray terrazzo floor, God willing, between now and Saturday morning. All right? This has been an absolute pleasure and labor of love for me to get to do this, to get to work with these actors. The dedication and what they have all brought to this is just really, it's really quite something. It is not a comedy. It's not a musical, all right? It is a very serious play, but it's an important play. I've heard it say that those who do not study history are condemned to repeat it. This is a reminder of what we need to do as human beings to live in a better world with and for each other, okay? So the scene you're about to see, Ned Weeks is the protagonist, who is played by Jeff Parsons, who is just sitting here. Could some nice person take my chair, would you? Thanks.
And they're ready.
Okay, they're ready. Ned is in virtually every scene, so he's going to be doing a lot of fast changes when we do the show. And this is where Ned is meeting with his brother, his older brother, Ben. Ben is an attorney, and they're going to have a conversation about, well, I won't even tell you. I'll let you see. We don't have lights. Sorry about that, but you'll be able to see. And this is Ben's office at a very prestigious law firm in New York City. Okay, how do I turn this off, sir? You're handing it to
the actor. So. Let's go this way.
That's fine. Isn't it a bit early to get so worked up?
Don't you be like that too.
What have I done now?
Labor Day weekend, my friend Bruce and I went out to Fire Island. We collected the grand sum of $124.
You can read that either as an indication that it's a beginning and things will improve, or as a portent that heads will stay in the sand. My advice is heads are going to stay in the sand.
Because so many gay people are still in the closet?
Because people don't like to be frightened. When they get scared, they don't behave well. It's called denial.
What are these?
Your account needs more money. You never seem to do the same thing twice. One movie, one novel, one play. You know, you're now living on your capital. I miss you being in the movie business. I like movies.
What are those?
I've decided to build a house.
It looks like a fortress. Does it have a moat? How much is this gonna cost?
I suspect it's going to wind up over $1 million, but you're not to tell that to anyone, not even Sarah. I found some land in Greenwich near a little river, completely protected by trees. Ned, it's going to be beautiful.
Doesn't it frighten you spending $1 million on a house? It would scare the shit out of me even if I had it.
You can have a house anytime you want one. You haven't done badly.
Is that a tinge of approval that I just got from the big brother who used to always call me Lemon?
Well, you were a lemon.
I don't want a house.
Then why have you been searching for one in the country all these years?
It's no fun living in one alone.
There's no law requiring you to do that. Is this Bruce, someone you're seeing?
Well, thank you for asking. And no, sadly, I see him. He doesn't see me. I frighten everybody away. I'm frightened. It's called the Lemon Complex.
I think you're the one who's scared.
You've never said that before.
Yes, I have. You just didn't hear me. What's the worst thing that could happen to you?
I could spend $1 million on a house. Listen, we've started this organization to raise money and spread information and fight any way we can.
And fight who and what?
I told you, this disease.
You're not going to do this full time.
I just want to help it get started, and then I'll figure out the rest later on.
Sounds to me like another excuse to keep from writing.
I knew you were going to say that. So, I was wondering if your law firm could incorporate us and get us tax-exempt status and take us on for free. What's it called? Pro bono?
Pro bono for what? What are you going to do?
I told you, we're going to raise money and fight.
You have to be more specific than that. You have to have a plan.
How about if I said we're going to be a cross between the League of Women Voters and the United States Marines? Is that a good enough plan for you?
Look, We have a committee that takes on that sort of thing. I'll just have to put it to the committee.
Why can't you just say yes?
Because we have a committee.
But you're the senior partner, and I'm your brother.
I fail to see what difference that makes in the matter. You're asking me to ask my partners to give up income that would ordinarily come into their pocket.
I thought all law firms had to do a certain amount of this sort of thing. Worthy causes, charities.
Yeah, but it's not up to me to choose exactly what those worthy causes are.
Well, that's a pity. What did you start the firm for?
It's a democratic firm. It's one of our rules.
I think I like elitism better. When will you know?
Know what?
Whether or not your committee wants to help save dying faggots.
I'll put it to them at the next meeting.
When is that?
When it is.
When is it? If I don't have your support, I'm going to need to find somebody else to do this.
You're more than free to do that.
I don't want to do that. What I want is my big brother's fancy, famous, big deal, straight law firm to be the first New York law firm to represent a gay group pro bono. That would give me a great deal of pride. I'm sorry you can't understand that. I'm sorry I keep putting you in situations where I embarrass you. I thought we'd worked this out years ago.
You do not embarrass me. I told you, I'm not free to just take this on without asking the approval of my partners at the next meeting.
Why don't I believe that? When is the next meeting?
It's next Monday. Can you wait until next Monday?
Who's on the committee?
What difference does that make?
I'll lobby them. You don't seem like a sure vote. What about Nelson? Is Norman Ivy on it?
And
Cooper?
Norman and Cooper are.
Good.
Okay. So, Lemon, where do you want to go for lunch today? It's your turn to pay.
It is not. I paid last week.
Oh, that is simply not true.
Oh, last week was French. Why is it that you are the only person in the world that I can't get mad at and stay mad at? Like my entire world would end if it wasn't for you. And then who would Ben talk to?
That's true.
Oh, look, you're getting better at this.
Let's see. That's it. Don't steal my pen.
I'm not going to steal your pen.
He stole my pen. You see the whole
Next
thing.
Friday night, allegedly, we're going to do the whole thing.
If we can remember our lines.
Would you guys like to ask these guys some questions?
Okay, then.
What do you want to know from them about the roles, about the play?
Yes, Cliff?
Well, the whole AIDS crisis was obviously a long time ago, even though I'm aware that the world is still living with it. It's become rather manageable and no longer fatal condition. But what does it feel like? I mean, what kind of memories do you have of that period? And what does it feel like visiting it in the context of this play?
Wow, okay, just like start with a
An easy one.
Simple. A softball. Thanks for the softball, Cliff.
I knew there was a sports reference in there, but I wasn't getting it.
Man's condition, that would be helpful too.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, this show really resonates because I first read this show when it came out in 1985, which was the summer that I was coming to terms with my own sexuality in college. And so for me, it's had a huge impact because then I grew up in the AIDS crisis and all of that. And yes, it on paper, it seems like it's a period piece. It seems like it's a historical thing. But because of the current situation of our world and country and government, it's actually incredibly relevant.
You feel on trial again.
On trial again, government not wanting to do anything to take care of people's health, government politicians putting their head in the sand because of publicity and fear and all of that. I mean, some of the themes are
incredibly relevant right now. And so it's if we would have done this 10 years ago, I think it would have been truly a historical drama. But it was very kind of prescient of Larry Kramer to write something that is holding up so many years later.
This is like the worst if you ever make a speech in front of people. You go, are there any questions? And nothing happens.
You seem like brothers.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's so funny that because we've gone out to lunch a couple of times, you know, just the kind of bond and everything, and
Did he pay?
we each paid once.
We each paid once, but we did keep track.
Exactly. We went to French and he ate the French. Okay. No, but we did. We went into a place and the guy behind the counter said, "Are you guys brothers?" Seriously, because we were hanging, and we. Funny you should ask. So we might have sold the ticket. We tried.
Also, you come off as a real, you think and act and sort of react to everything the way a lawyer would. You're always, he's the artist, he's the guy that's floating around, and you're continually demanding more specificity from him.
Yeah, well, because I know him. He's a lemon, you know? He's all over the place. I got to pin him down so I know what the hell he's even asking for, even though I don't want to give it to him no matter what, but, you know. But it evolves. It evolves.
Is this play based on a true story?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All the characters are real, just the names have all been changed.
Yeah.
But they are actual people.
Yeah,
So
and
the
it's-
events and the things that are said and done, they actually happen.
Yeah.
Patricia Phillips gave it lots of claps on.
Oh, good.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, thank you, Patricia.
Come see it.
I'm just a minute, just why I think this matters.
Forget your mic.
I think for.
Can you grab a mic?
Oh, you have to do this. Thank you for the. I want to.
I'll give him to,
No, I need to.
oh, you need it for your thing. Oh, never mind.
I'd like to say something.
You have
5
it?
years ago, our whole world changed, all of us, right? And there we go, just like's happened at this point in time. In almost no time, the whole world changed. There was this new disease, this new pathogen. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know where it came from. We didn't know how to test for it. We didn't have any treatment for it for a very long time. All of our lives changed. People started working from home. School was from home. You could drive on local roads here. I remember driving on Route 17 and there was nobody. The parking lots were empty. There was no one on the road. And they even wrote about the fact that because so many people the world over were not out driving and doing things, that the vibrations on the earth, the level had dropped enormously. We all lived through that. And I know people who wouldn't pick up the mail. They would put on rubber gloves, throw the mail out and wait for days, and then they would take it and wipe it down. We did not know where this thing came from. The difference between COVID and this is it affected all of us equally. It affected the old, it affected younger people. Some people got a little sick, some people got very sick. People died. One of my, in April of that year of 2020, one of my members, he was a member of my organization at that time, so early 40s, really built lots of muscles, chiropractor. He was in the hospital for 4 months. We didn't know what it was, right? There was no treatment. 4 months, this healthy young guy in his early 40s. The difference with what happened in the AIDS crisis is who is dying. This is our Dr. Emma. Mike Dooley is our Dr. Emma. And what does Dr. Emma say early on in the play? Who cares? Yeah. Her line is, who cares if a faggot dies? And the truth is that is exactly what was happening. It was this population, and a lot of people thought it was very easy to turn away and not care, and maybe if they all died, homosexuality would go away. Right? So having just lived as we all did through the COVID pandemic, I
think that's how it
that
works.
gives us a far greater understanding of what this was all about, what this was like. And I just hope that people will come and see it because the story is important. That we need to, all of us, continue to see our common humanity with everyone. You look everywhere in the world, but there's hardly anywhere you can look where there's not something going on where I look at you and you're other and you're not the same as me. I think it's very important to do this plan now. I think it's very important for people to come and see it. And as you saw, there's humor in it. There's some cute, fun stuff. It's not just that it's heavy. Is it heavy hitting? It absolutely is. I like fun with it. Leaves us with something. We take something away that makes us think and feel and talk to others. And I hope that you will come and have that experience with us. And I hope we'll other people decide to follow into there. I think we give these guys a round of applause.
I'll have a cupcake now.